This video is brought to you by Refrigeration Technologies, supplying HVAC techs and owners with top-rated chemicals for the last several decades, including Viper Spray Coil Cleaner, the Green Evap Plus with enzymes, and also Big Blue, the best bubble leak detector on the market today. Refrigeration Technologies. I'll tell you what I love listening to, since you guys asked me. Text in 910-970-0774. You can call in a little bit if you want to. Just hang on for a little bit. We're going to do the HVAC news and all that stuff. I love that intro song. I changed the podcast today to have that intro song. I loved it so much. But I tell you what, if I had the rights to it, you know what song I would love to use? The Game by Motorhead. That would be my intro song. Can you imagine that? I'd play it right now. Except I think it violates something. Fairly certain. I'm going to play a song in a little while that's not mine. But I have to do it. I have to do it for you, Ralph. You're going to love it, man. It's going to be great. So stick around for that. Now let's talk about, right off the bat, let's get into some HVAC news. You're listening to the HVAC Action News with your host, Zach Ciota. All the news you want, and a lot of it you don't care for. Yep, this is the HVAC News with your buddy, Zach Ciota. Let's get right after it. I got my notebook here. You can hear it. I researched a kind of a cool story. Speaking of Ralph, he's a naval guy. This is a naval story. There's a former naval officer that was suing the government because he was sickened by mold while on, let me see what this is, the HMCS Iroquois. There was 2 Iroquois-class ships, and both of these ships are now decommissioned. He was working on these ships between 2004 and 2009, and evidently he was exposed to a lot of black mold, which we're going to talk about in just a second for just a few minutes. Now, the weird thing about this is, guys, is that the black mold, I don't get this, because sometimes you hear the mold ain't bad, sometimes the mold is bad. Now, which one is it? We go from one story to the next and they're always contradicting each other. Now, certain molds are worse than others, and there are certain ones like this black mold. I remember hearing about it all the way back in continuing education, way back in the day. Every year, the same story, over and over and over again. Continuing ed, we had to go through this stuff. And keep it in mind, guys, I've had my license since 1999. I got my HVAC contractor's license when I was 19, and I've had it my whole life until this year. It's kind of lapsed, but I have to renew it. Whatever. Hey, Clint. Karma, baby. Karma, baby. That's right. Clint with the super chat over there on YouTube. Thank you very much. Those of you who are listening on HST Radio, the app, can listen there. But if you are in a position to watch the video, you can watch that here as well. In fact, I'll show you guys over there on YouTube. There's the screen there for HST Radio. You can see guys listening from Los Angeles. Thank you, Juan. That's wonderful. All the way across to Philadelphia and down to Florida. So we have listeners all across the great United States. Karma is a bitch, but it has come home to roost, baby. That's okay. Those who are patient, like Matt LeBlanc in the ketchup commercial, good things come to those who wait. That was a long time ago. You guys don't remember that. You guys were born after that, a lot of you. Except for Ralph. He was way before that. Way before that. So this guy was working on these 2 Iroquois-class ships. Maybe Ralph knows what I'm talking about here, actually. He was exposed to this black mold, and it gave him hyper-reactive airway disease. Never heard of that before. I've heard of reactive airway disease, different variations, RSV. But this guy's permanently sick. And what is the kicker on this stuff? Because, our government is great. The government defeated him in their court case. Now he's chasing after the 3 HVAC engineers, I guess in a civil suit. And the funny thing is, they gave him like $20K for the rest of his life. That's what you get, $20K. How fast are you going to go through that, guys? How much do you guys make in 1 year? Probably way more than $20K, right? I'm hoping so. Most of you, unless you're just a kid in school or something like that. We have our text coming through here. All right. Yeah, man. Tim's in Philadelphia with the Android app. All right, man. Thank you, Tim. You all right. We have a gold blip on the screen, and it's really bothering me, so I'm going to go see what it is. It's just Chrome Mobile. That's all it is. Okay. Cool. I can actually see what kind of phone they're using. Ha ha. Big Brother's watching you. Anyhow, so this guy got 20 grand to go away. Now he's chasing after these engineers because evidently they cause these conditions. I guess on these naval vessels, it's hot and humid, and it's really the perfect situation for mold to grow. So mold grew, he became sick, and it was permanent. In fact, I looked up here and it says, and this is from iPolitics, that's where the story comes from. They're actually working on Halifax-class frigates because of mold issues now, and the work won't be done to 2020. So this is persisting. It's really interesting because these guys work in these ships, and back in the day, it was like asbestos was the problem, and now they're having mold issues as well. Man, oh man. Ralph says he'd go through 20K in one night. I believe it. I believe it. Now, here's one of my favorite parts of the show, guys. I got to tell you what. This is one of my favorite parts of the show. I'm actually going to take, and Ralph, you listen good to this. You listen good to this. I really got excited by this. I have live audio recording from Ralph's house late last night, and I want to play it here on the air. So I hope, and I'm sorry about Nightbot getting you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Nightbot. I'm surprised he got you. It's over on YouTube. This is live audio from Ralph's house late last night. Here it goes. That was taken late last night at Ralph's house. It was around 12 or 1 a.m. I don't know what it's all about, but I just know there was a great celebration going on. Maybe you guys know. I don't know. Those who know Ralph will definitely get that inside joke. And those of you who don't, I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh, that's right, baby. Jeff Kuiper says that's not right, and that's all kinds of right there. That's all kinds of right. All right, man. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about black mold. Let's get back off the funny train. Let's get back on the black mold train for a minute, and then we'll take some calls. Now, I researched the type of black mold that I remember hearing about over and over again, that continuing ed, ever since 1999 all the way up till just a few years ago, and it was called Stachybotrys. Stachybotrys or Stachybotrys chatarum is what it's called. Yeah, y'all are going to really remember that later, right? I'm sorry, it's hard to concentrate now. But this is a serious subject. I'm about to get into that right now. They had a bunch of people get sick, and 2 infants actually died back in the early 1990s because of this mold. Now, we talk about this naval guy who's going to be sick for the rest of his life. We're talking about these little kids that actually died from what is called pulmonary hemorrhage, which is basically bleeding inside of your lungs. It killed the pets. It killed these little kids. And it's all mold related, which again goes back to, is it bad or is it good? People say different things. But I guess in the end, if you see mold or what you think is mold at a customer's house, it's sort of your duty to bring it up. Now, me personally, I've seen mold in air handlers before, and it's so common that I've actually gone to houses and just not said anything about it, forgotten to talk about it, because it's like at every single air handler. It's in all these package units. It's everywhere, all over jobs. So you kind of get used to seeing it. But for your own safety, liability-wise, and for your homeowner safety, go ahead and let them know about it. They can do what they want with it, but give them some options or something like that. Hey, it's like the salesman say, you go upsell something. Hey, make the salesman happy too. There you go. So, but since that early 1990s study where the 2 infants died, or that case, there has been no links found since then. I personally believe that it was the case, and it continues to be the case as we turn pages. We're going to die of black lung. That's what Brent says. So that's the thing. Is it just overplayed? Or is it actually that serious? That's the back and forth that we're going through here lately. We've done this a lot lately on the show, and I'm sure we'll run through this and go on to something else. But since we're reading about it, we might as well do some learning. It's linked to sick building syndrome. A lot of people know that. You have buildings where everybody's sick at the same time, or everybody has the sniffles all the time. All that stuff. But I found a cool story. Here's the cool story. In the Bible, Moses is up at the burning bush. A lot of guys know this. Even if you don't read the Bible, you know the burning bush deal, right? Moses goes up there. God comes to him as a burning bush. And he has to prove that he actually saw God. Because you can't go down there and say, I saw this great burning bush up here that's God. And the guy's like, okay, whatever. What you been drinking? So he actually gets stricken with this mold. And I guess it's like a form of leprosy or something like that it would cause. And then God took it away. But it's actually mentioned in the Bible. So that was pretty funny. Let's see. Brent says it's bullshit. That's what he says. It's bullshit. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Is there anything to that there, Brent? Maybe you can call in and we could talk about that. That would be great. Let's look at the YouTube chat. There's a lot of cheeseburger talk over there, but I really can't blame them because today is, I guess, cheeseburger Christmas Day or something like that. But I'm going to put the number in the chat as well. It's 910-970. I look for some callers here. Let's talk mold. We'll talk about whatever y'all want. I'm going to put the number over here. You guys can call in and we can talk. We can chit chat because I gave my mold spiel. It's only been like 10 minutes. We need to fill up this time with some useful information. I have a game I was going to play called True Tech Code Bingo because I saw something on Facebook that the Shop Talk code didn't work. And I was actually saying that it didn't work because we had stopped our partnership with them. They would give us tools for the giveaways and we would run some ads for them, but we stopped that a few months ago. So I thought the code was gone, but actually it still works. I was wrong. Terry, man, I'm glad you're loving the live stream, man. That's great. I'll take a moment here. Let's read. Oh, wait. We have a caller. Bullshit, huh?
It's bullshit, Zach. It's bullshit.
Brent Ridley from the Troll Pros podcast. What's happening, man?
Oh, not much, brother. Just gave a quote for 2 systems and a water heater and headed to go pick up some dehumidifiers.
Oh, nice. Okay, so give me the story. Why is it bullshit?
I just think, okay, you're right. I don't know. I kind of joined in kind of late. I just heard that you're talking about every unit that's used to pull the cover off has had stuff growing in it. And that's been the case with me, too. Every unit that I've pulled the cover off most of my career has had traps growing inside of it, especially when I worked in Savannah and down Hilton Head and down there by the coast. And I've never found a link between me working with these units, pulling blowers out, pulling, the coils out. I never felt sick, never felt bad, never felt any of that. And, I just don't think there is a link there. I think there is types of mold that will hurt you. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think this mold that we run into every day is it. I think it's a very specific kind that may grow, under certain conditions.
Maybe that's true. Hey, maybe it's just something salesmen can gleam onto to sell UV lights. But, the last show I had, or a couple of shows ago, we were talking about UV lights, and the engineer for the building on one of these projects said the UV lights were bad because it broke down these either bacteria or molds into smaller pieces, and they were toxic. So, I mean, what do you do? What do you believe in this stuff, and what do you not believe? That's my question.
Exactly. I don't know. I do have one of the Ultravision photo caps or something in my house. I can't remember what it is, but I got it in my house, and I don't know that it does anything. I know that it does kind of smell good. It takes the dog stink out of the air, but that's about it.
That's good. So why didn't you go with the Halo?
I think we've covered this before.
The podcast was young back then, and not a lot of people listened to it. So you had a Remy Halo before, since we're talking about these products. Now, what happened with that thing?
I put a Remy Halo in my house, and it died within 24 hours. And basically, I called Remy, and they told me, because at that point I was kind of sick and tired of it. I didn't want another one. I wanted to just get my money back. And Remy kind of just told me, no, you can go take it back where you bought it from, and that's about it. So I took it back. I got a replacement one, and it's still sitting in my shop right now. I haven't installed it anywhere because I think it's junk.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Now, talking about health issues and treating health issues as far as being an HVAC technician in your field of residential, what do you do to ensure that your customers are going to have a healthy environment? What do you think is something that actually works?
I honestly think, good filtration, number one, a media filter, number one. I think proper jug system comes into play at big time. Now, I know guys will be like, what are you talking about? I think making sure you're moving the right amount of air to make sure that you don't drop that coil too cold. You don't have sweating of the ductwork. You don't have things like that creating more moisture than you need. I think that will create a more healthy environment than anything. And I also think bringing in fresh air to the house, via a ERV or dehumidifier that has fresh air or something like that would be all work also.
Now, when it comes to the mold itself, which may or may not be of any danger, maybe it just causes sniffles. Who knows what it causes? How do you solve that problem? Is it as simple as making sure you have the proper airflow and coil temperature, and then you won't get mold? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I think that plays a lot to it. I think a lot of these poorly designed duct systems are making the ductwork run way too cold, and you have that unnecessary moisture. And I think that's where a lot of this mold and mildew is coming from. But I can't say that 100% because you do have a surface area in there that is getting moisture on it all the time with the evaporator for it.
So what do you do as a contractor when you're designing a job, Brent? Is it as simple as you going in there using the right size ductwork and using the right blower tap, and you don't have anything to worry about? As long as the system's sized correctly.
Yes, I can't say that I've ever any unit that I've put in and designed correctly. I've never been back for a mold issue on that personally, but I can't say that won't ever happen. But it's just my experience that I haven't been back on.
Okay. Well, you live in a very humid environment, so if you were going to have an issue, you would see it. I mean, it's not like Arizona or somewhere dry. Georgia is pretty humid overall. Even where you live now, it's pretty humid still, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's because I live up, I guess it'd be a little bit outskirts of Atlanta, north of Atlanta. So, it's still very humid up here.
Yeah. So tell us about the system you sold here. We'll do a segue this way. So what did you sell, and when are you going to put it in?
I didn't sell anything to this guy yet. We were talking about the 5-stage and going that route, but we're currently doing a job right now where we're taking a unit, an old 19-year-old carrier out of the crawl space. And the guy wanted it in his attic. I tried to talk him out of it, but he didn't listen. So he wanted it in the attic. So we're moving the air handler to the attic, carrier 5-stage inverter system Infinity, with all new ductwork and everything.
Oh, nice. So still don't like the green speeds, huh?
Nope.
No green speeds.
I don't like them at all. I put in one, and I won't put in any more.
Remind us, what happened with the one? Was it just you had to replace parts, or you just didn't like how it operated?
No, I didn't like the operation on it. It was zoning. It was a zoning style setup, and we ended up having a small zone on it, and our airflow wouldn't ram down enough, and we sound like a hurricane in the one zone. So I basically ended up having to go disable the zoning for him, and that was the end of that. But it was just I ended up fighting back and forth, going back with carrier a bunch on it, because they told me it would go down lower than it would, and it would never, ever, ever go down that low. So because I'd never seen that thing run below 50%.
Really? Okay. And they go down where? To about 25, 30% supposedly?
I think it's 35. I think it's 35 or 45. 35, I think. But I never saw it below 50. And that's what my frustration was, is they told me it would, and I was expecting my airflow to match that with that zone, and it never did get below there. So it sounded like a hurricane trying to move half the CFMs through there.
And you don't think it was a faulty zone component or anything like that? It was definitely just the operation was limited?
No, it was definitely operation limited, because like I said, I went over it with carrier and we talked about everything. It was definitely that. Excuse me there. I had a little burp.
Hey, that's okay. This is streaming radio. You can do whatever you want here.
All right.
There's no FCC as far as I know.
So we can talk about the Cheap Bird Fund?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, I guess. It's been a big day for that.
I know. I think this is like better than Christmas and birthday and Ralph's birthday together, because I'm so excited about today.
I know it. Did you hear the little song I played for him?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, you did? Oh, wait, stay on the line. Here you go. Here's a song I played for him. Just listen to the first part. This is Ralph's house at 1 a.m. last night. Here you go. Are you hearing that?
Yes, I hear that. The Wicked Witch is dead. Huh?
Yep, that's Ralph around 1 a.m. I hear he's pretty lit though.
Well, he started texting. It was like 10:30. He started texting like, "Dude, I got the best news ever." and it was, and I'm sure he stayed up all night long with that.
He's been up for 36 hours.
I don't. Probably so.
And he's giving people tech advice right now, probably.
That's scary.
Oh, yeah, it is scary. All right, Brent, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to transition to the next part of the podcast, but I appreciate you calling in, man, and do it again next time.
Absolutely. No problem, Zach. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. That was old Brent Ridley right there. I'm going to get into some of these texts and stuff that I got while I was on the air with Brent here. We have one talking about duck sizing. Let's see here. And I think Jeremy was going to send in a picture. He said he got sick on one of the job sites. I saw that. Asbestos is definitely bad. That's bad. All right, let's see here. You're on the air.
What's going on, Zach?
Oh, man, your phone's loud. Hold on a second. All right, say that again.
What's going on, Zach?
What's going on, Cannon? The Cannon.
Oh,
Casey.
Working on a 2004 Bryant system.
You know this isn't a tech support line, right?
Yeah, I know. There's nothing wrong with this one. I'm just doing the maintenance.
You're working on something, but there's nothing wrong with it. Typical big companies. I'm kidding.
This guy just moved into the house and wants to know if his system needs to be replaced or not.
So how's it going so far?
It does not.
Oh, all right, good, good.
It's a Bryant, so it's a good system.
So have you ever seen mold inside a unit?
Yes, a few.
What did you do about it? Is there anything you did about it?
Use the evaporator coil cleaner to clean it. Main thing that we have is people not setting up the bigger companies when bigger than us, which is kind of weird to say, but yeah, when they're bigger than us, that don't set up the Linux thermostats properly with a humidifier.
Right.
And don't shut the humidifier off. Have it so that the humidifier doesn't shut off, and have it down to about, I had one at 50%, and there was a day that it was 36% humidity outside in the summer, and it was running nonstop. So the humidifier water panel gets a lot of mold on it. That's our main issue.
Well, we don't have that issue here because we don't have any humidifiers where I live because it's humid all year long anyway, so we don't need it. Even in the wintertime, it really doesn't get dry enough inside, but for a few days a year. But do you have
I thought you were saying that your nose bled every day.
My nose does bleed. When it gets like 40%, my nose will bleed. But there was a couple times, like over the winter, we had those 7 days of snow, and the heat was running nonstop. These are heat pumps, by the way, but it was still running nonstop, and the humidity reached so low, it was like 20 to 25%. I had to run the shower and boil water on the stove, or else my nose would bleed just all day. But that's not very typical for us. It doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, our humidity is low in the winter.
Well, yeah, because you have cold temperatures. You got that heat running all the time.
Yeah. I need one in my house. I just don't want to install one.
Well, we had to do it the old-fashioned way. We just had to boil water. You know what? I would run the shower for like 20 minutes. Of course, run all the hot water out of the water heater. Let me not say hot water heater. People get pissed. Water heater. And it would raise it from 26 to like 42. And then like an hour later, it'd be down by 30 again. So it didn't matter.
No, here's the main problem with the humidity inside my house, right? It's not that it's like unbearable or anything. No, it's that my cat, when she feels the humidity, like the static on her, she comes and jumps on us and shocks us 24/7.
Your cat has special powers?
She only will jump on me when she knows that she's going to shock me.
We should call your cat Shockwave.
Her name's Zippy.
Well, okay, whatever. Then Zippy. Zippy the cat. Okay. You know what I was going to do, actually? I was going to write down everybody's name because I wasn't going to give away like shirts during the show anymore. I was going to write down every caller's name, and at the end of the week, I'll pick somebody out of that group. I should probably do that. That would be good.
You should do that.
Yeah, you think so because you're calling. But I should do that.
I should also post a picture on Instagram.
When's the last time you posted a picture on Instagram? Because I've been posting them pretty much all the time, which is fine.
Well, see, you've been posting all the time. I've been waiting for a gap to post something of mine, and I haven't found one yet.
Well, you could throw one in there if you want to. I mean, you could just throw one in there. It don't matter if there's an extra one.
It's not like I can compete with Jackson at all.
No, you can't. No one can compete with Jackson. He's a good dude, man. He's a really good dude.
He's just sitting there, doing nothing, and everyone likes the picture.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have to do anything, and I can make memes to make fun of. Let's see, I made fun of continuing education, which is exactly what I look like. Guys, those of you who have had continuing education or any kind of training that you had to be put through against your will, like your boss made you go or something like that, I would literally nod off during continuing education because they would tell the same stories. They would tell the same stories every year for like years at a time. And keep in mind, I was listening to this shit for like 20 years, from 1999 until just recently. So I would nod off, and I would actually snore. I'd be sitting there and it's like, and I'd wake up. It's horrible because I felt like the entire room could hear it. It's bad, man. It's
Well,
bad.
if I fell asleep and I started snoring, the entire room would hear it.
Well, I know. Yeah,
And
if I
probably
got
even
going,
the room
yeah.
down the hall.
Yeah, I love it because the YouTube guys are over here in the chat, and I don't even know if they're listening because they're talking about their wooden floors and stuff and the humidity. But I guess they are listening because they're talking about humidity. But you're right, the wooden floors will start to buckle. There's all sorts of issues, and in the summertime, water gets in the crawl space. It gets humid down in the crawl. I don't have any insulation at the bottom of my house. By the way, Cannon, come on by. I'll give you $100 to insulate the bottom of my house. That would be great. Would you like to do that?
$100?
Yeah, $100 in
Right.
quarters.
Do you pay for travel?
No. Don't you want to meet
It's
Zach?
gonna-
Don't you want to meet Zach from HVAC Shop Talk?
I want to meet Jackson,
Well, whatever. He lives here too.
but like it's going to cost me more than $100 to get down there.
What's your point?
Well, like
No one likes a complainer,
pay for
Cannon.
travel, sure.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want? Like I'll give you like what's a bus ticket cost?
Is there even a bus station in Wilmington?
Yeah, there's a bus station.
Are you sure?
No.
Because I know there's a bus station here, and I don't want to park my truck where the bus station is.
Oh well. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do it some other time.
It's kind of like you need to put like bulletproof glass in all your windows, or your truck won't get stolen.
That's where the bus station is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the bus station. Okay.
When they miss the bus, they're going to steal your truck.
Well, yeah, it's in the bad part of town. It's actually closed down. But all right, Cannon, I'm letting you go because we're transitioning again.
Okay. What are we transitioning to?
I'm gonna play that music again that I played earlier.
Oh wait, the Kansas music.
Yes.
There's only one person that that can actually approve that song.
Is it
And
you
it's
because
me.
you're in Kansas?
It's me, and I can tell you that I know what happened. I saw Dorothy running away. I saw Dorothy going that way. So
I know you did.
I was flying through the sky, going straight to Georgia. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Okay.
red slippers and all.
All right.
You know what the
Cannon.
most annoying part about being from Kansas is? Let me tell you this real quick. When you're out of town and you tell someone you're from Kansas and you're not in Missouri, they say, "Well, you're not in Kansas anymore." And it's like, yeah,
It's pretty corny, isn't it?
I paid to get down here. I know.
Well, that is interesting, Cannon.
Oh, hey, you want the P51-860s? They're doing great.
What are the P51-860s?
The gauges,
I know. I'm just kidding with you.
the awesome yellow jacket gauges that everyone should buy.
I know. Well, hey, you got to come back and talk about them because we're going to talk about them for like 10 minutes.
Okay, just give me a call back when that happens. Talk to you later, Zach.
Give you a call back. It's tomorrow on the
Yeah.
next show.
Okay, so then call me tomorrow.
All right, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you during a service call.
Okay.
All right. I
I
hope
might
you
need help,
better be
so
using the.
might as well do it.
All right. All right, man. Bye,
Okay, I'll talk to you
Cannon.
later. Have a good day.
Bye, Cannon. I can't look into his eyes. He's not actually here. Just savor the moment, guys. All right, that feels great. Okay. Can we talk about Testo? What do we want to talk about in regards to Testo? This is the free-for-all part of the show. We're taking calls. If you want to text in, you can text. I'm going to look at the phone right here, see what we got. Duct sizing has been discussed as an issue for the mold. I can definitely believe that because duct sizing affects airflow, and it all comes down to airflow, really. We need to know what the subject is, Isaiah. Testo. You can put it in the chat. You can text it. You can call it. You can do whatever you want, guys. The phone lines are open. 910-970-0774. We have just a few minutes left, and it'll be on till tomorrow. We got a phone call. Welcome to America.
Hey, that's cool.
You like that? Welcome to mainland America.
Yeah, mainland, 48.
So what's
I'm in the
happening?
Commonwealth, so
You're in the Commonwealth. You're part of our big family, somewhat unofficially.
yeah, I know that.
In a kind of
What's up?
quasi-state-like way. So what's happening down
Yeah.
there in Puerto Rico, man?
let's see, we got bad weather, and my boss was supposed to go to a job this morning, and he turned me back home, so he gave me half a day. He said, well, stay around.
So what kind of weather is going on? I mean, what kind of weather are you having? Just rain or what?
We got bad rainstorms, and it was storming, some lightning, something in the morning, so.
Oh, you just don't grab the umbrella like some of these guys on Facebook and just go on to work anyway?
I would go, but, he said safety, so, I respect his wishes.
Hell, I wouldn't go. I'm just see these guys out there. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Might as well stay home.
I mean, one time, I remember when I used to work, it would start raining, and if you didn't finish, well, I would just put a poncho on and finish. As long as there was no electric involved.
Man,
I would just finish and, gauge off and put my stuff away and write the note, whatever.
I think you should know this, Alexander, that guys in the chat are saying Puerto Rico is the redheaded stepchild of the United States. I think that's offensive.
It's a wrong story. It's a lot of if you like drama, like the soap opera stuff, the politics is great for that here.
Well, you got the right chat for that. They love that stuff.
Yeah. Sorry to say I'm neutral, so I don't get my 2 cents on that. So.
Hey, that's all right. You know what? It's better to not be part of it, so don't even worry about that.
Yeah. I just go with the flow.
Hey, that's the best thing to do. Let me ask you a question, because there's a question in the chat, and you might be able to answer it too, to a certain degree. The guys are asking about the different testo gauges. Did you say you use testo gauges or not?
Yeah, I have a pair of 550s.
Now, how do you like them?
The awesome. I had them for 2 years. I dropped them, and the screen broke, and I sent them back to Testo for repair, and they sent it back.
Oh, so, did the hook ever fall out of yours?
Nope.
Wow. So yours is the one.
I only had a problem with the probes. The clamp probes are a piece of crap. They break easily, but besides that.
Now, would you buy another set now that they're not made in Germany, or would you go get something else?
I know the quality now is, what the guys say about it. I'll just try to baby mine until they blow up or something. But I really don't use them a lot. I only use them for when I'm troubleshooting something, I need to know, be more precise or something. But I have my Yellow Jacket 41s never failed me now. So.
Yeah, that's true. They'll last a lifetime. They were literally, these older gauges, people make fun of them and all, but they would last your entire career.
I have the 41s with the ones that they were supposed to be extra precise, that the casing is in bronze and the lens is glass, just tempered glass.
Ooh, I haven't had any of those. That sounds really nice.
One of the gauge, I remember that I bought them on eBay. The gauge alone, they were like $40 a piece.
Wow, are these these liquid filled gauges?
No, I had the liquid filled ones once, but I dropped them on the floor and the glycerin that was in them, it just poured all over the place and messed up the gauge, so I had to ditch them. But I did have a set of those once.
It became a regular gauge.
Yeah.
So that's your go-to then, man. You know what? A lot of the questions out there, the guys talk about which gauges to use. It's a lot like this whole which shoes do you wear sort of thing. Like it really matters. Just pick one, you're good usually.
Well, what, a shoe?
Well, I believe it in shoes because I wear Walmart shoes. And
okay, I've used the ones from Walmart. They break on me in 6 months of the roofs are so hot here.
Yes, that's right. 6 months.
I've had Wolverines.
Yeah.
Those suckers lasted me a year exactly. And they cost me $100. And I had a pair. Somebody handed me a down of used Timberland Pros.
Right.
They already had use on them. I think they used them for a couple of years. They put them away with that. It got paint on them. And I used those things for about 6-7 months. They broke into pieces, and I went to Sears. Sears says Timberland Pros, and I bought a $150 pair. I've had them for 4 months, and they're still holding up.
Okay. Well, you know what? My Walmart boots, they lasted 6 months, and the damn bottom fell off of them. That's what happened. Every single
No. What happens is that I don't know. They don't stitch them. They glue them. So if you go where it's really hot and stuff, and you walk a lot in them, they just the sole just goes flying off.
Well, maybe that's what it was because it's pretty hot here. I know it's hot where you're at.
No, it happened to mine. The ones I had, the sole would break where you the pressure point in the middle, where you would tie the laces. It would just lose the glue. Would just I don't know, glue was bad or something. It would just stick off from there and just make a mess.
Huh.
You had when you would see it coming out, you would have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks left on it, so you knew that you had to get another pair.
Oh, that's your warning shot.
Yeah, that's like your those tires, those new cars with the tire light. Yeah, something like that.
The low fuel light came on in your shoes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's why I bought crap shoes, man. I didn't trust any of them because they all seemed to fall apart. I never had a really nice set of shoes. Of course, we never had a lot of money.
We had a supplier here that they work with industrial boots and all that stuff. They got a ton of brands. My friend bought a pair and he said they were pretty good. So.
All right. Well,
they sell a couple of brands. They even sell Skechers. Even sells work shoes.
Skechers.
And Skechers, yeah.
Really?
They look like Skechers. They look like Skechers sneakers, but they're steel toes.
Steel toed Skechers. That's like that freaking steel toe Croc we saw on Facebook. It's like I wouldn't have believed it.
They actually have them.
Are you serious?
Nobody's playing around. They have those.
What, the Crocs or the Skechers?
It's not a Croc, but it is in some facilities that you work in. It's like a cover. Like if you don't have your safety shoes, it looks like a Croc. You put your foot into your shoe. It looks like clown boots, and it's supposed to protect you. That has a steel toe on it.
Hey, wow. That's crazy.
Because every time I go to a factory we work for, a contractor, the security person will ask, do you have boots? Do you have glasses? Do you have earplugs? Because it's required for them. Right. They have their protocol.
Oh, that's true. I forget about that. Some people have to use certain things no matter.
Well, they look like clown. They actually look like Crocs. They look like Crocs, and they look like clown shoes. So one time, guy that was with me, he didn't have his boots, and he had to use one of them. He had to use a pair.
Oh, wow.
They actually they look like clown shoes.
Maybe they can drive a Volkswagen Bug to work.
Maybe, who knows? I don't know if it was a clutch with it, but it did look like clown. Literally look like clown shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of a clown shoe, it looks just like that.
Yeah, I believe you. Hey, Alex, we're
that they had it here.
We're gonna have to transition again because I'm looking up something. We got to close out the show, but we're gonna come back tomorrow. Hey, keep this up because we're gonna hit on this again tomorrow. If you can call in, it'll be right around the same time.
I don't see what I'm doing tomorrow. I was off today, for the weather, but
hey, I hope it keeps raining.
At least I got some side work to do. Looking clear from hell, so.
Oh, that ought to be fun. Maybe you can explain what that's all about tomorrow.
Yeah, make a video. I don't know if I feel good about it.
Yeah, do that. If you do make a video, make sure to mention that if you call back in so people can watch it.
Okay,
cool.
No problem.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay, have a good one.
All right, Lady Birdie. All right, I wanted to do something real quick before we got off the air because they were talking about testo gauges here. So I'm going to share the screen for the YouTube guys, and I'll read it out for you guys over there on the radio station, so don't worry. Let me hit it up there. Okay, I'm over on True Text website, and we're looking at the 557s. Isaiah was asking about those, and a lot of people ask about the different types of gauges. Should I buy these? Should I buy those? In general, I think, just buy whatever you feel like. A lot of them be just fine. So here is a Testo 557s with Bluetooth. They're $454. Now think about what you could do with $454. If you had to have a manifold, I mean, I guess that's as good as anything else. 557s, I don't know if they're made in Germany. I want to say that the 557s are China, but I'm not positive. I had to look that up. Maybe you guys in the chat can answer that question. Now, let's look and see, because I would just as soon want smart probes. I don't mean you have to get smart probes from the sponsors here. You can get smart probes from Fieldpiece, smart probes from UEI. The UEI ones are going to cost a little bit more, I do believe, if you buy the whole set. I'm not sure. The Fieldpiece ones are right around the same price, and our code, Shop Talk, does still work. So let's check it out. Let me look at it. What's up? We have Ted from DIY or Anti-DIY HVAC. We have Jason Norris. We have Chris Stevens, Isaiah, AK Van, Greg Miracle, Night HVAC. Good afternoon to you too, sir. Let me see if I can find these bad boys. I'm going to look them up on the website here while we're sitting here. Look up Fieldpiece. I probably could have just gone to their site. Let's see if I can find those Fieldpiece probes. That's what we're looking for since Fieldpiece probes are hot. Okay, here we go. If you have the JobLink probes, they're $476, and you add them to your cart, and we'll use the Shop Talk code, bam, right there. Apply that. We save $48. I don't know why I have this in here. I'm going to buy that sucker eventually. I'm talking about the True Blue hoses. So there they are, and you can get that for the same price. If that's your budget number, that'll fit as well. You know what? I'd rather have those than a manifold, just me personally. And if you want to get the UEI ones, they have a pass-through, so you don't have to put a T on it or anything like that. So there's different options out there. Same thing for Yellow Jacket. I think Yellow Jacket's a little bit lower, but they don't have airflow probes. So if you want the full set, which is probably what I would want, a full set of stuff, then those are your good options right there. You can get the iConnect too, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg and an arm and a leg and your neighbor's leg. So you don't want that. Oh, I could chat with Bill Jr. right now if I wanted to over here. There's a chat window here now. But not today. Not today. All right. Let me cross back over. We're going to wrap this thing up for today. Field Piece, though. Field Piece pros are awesome. They work with Measure Quick. Yeah, Measure Quick. Woo! Yeah. All right. Measure Quick. Everybody loves that. We're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for watching over there on YouTube and listening on HST Radio. We'll be back tomorrow. Same happy place, about the same time. Make sure you say, I want notifications, and I will send you notifications when we go live. We as in myself and mouse in my pocket, as Ralph would say. 910-970-0774. If you have any questions over there in the chat, I'm not always looking at the chat. You can text that number. You can call in. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Same bat channel, same bat time. Or actually, I think it's same Scooby time, same Scooby place. Well, like Scooby, we gotta get out of here. Yep, we are leaving the building. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. And I'll see you on the next one.